The people that get it and get involved in whatever association, I don't care if it's your church, I don't care what it is, when you give back to your community, it will come back to you tenfold.
Welcome to We Love Deck Builders, the podcast dedicated to empowering deck industry pros to construct a thriving business. Join your host, April Edwards, founder of Deck Builder Marketers, as she brings you a cheat sheet of industry secrets and strategies that promise to boost your deck building business. Whether you're a battle-tested pro or just starting your entrepreneurial journey, this podcast is your arsenal for expert insights and actionable advice. So tune in and let's carve a path to business growth, one insight at a time.
All right, guys, today's episode is extra special. It's not just about an industry event. It's about a milestone for Southern California and something I've been passionate about making happen. I'm joined today by Michael Beaudry from NADRA, Executive VIP, and always known as POPs. NADRA is the North American Deck and Railing Association, if you don't know, but you should know. And it's an organization dedicated to elevating our industry through connection, education, and community. Pops, did I get that right?
Dang, man, better than I could ever say it.
Great. So I want to just start by saying, if you guys know me, you know that I'm really committed to helping deck builders grow. And it's not just about our deck builders, it's about the bigger picture in this industry. It's been so amazing to niche down in my own company and be able to make a bigger impact. So that's why myself, along with Jeff Mudd from the Trades Podcast, have been working hand in hand with Pops and Margie from NADRA to bring NADRA's very first Southern California regional event right here in beautiful San Diego County, northern San Diego, and a little beach town called Carlsbad. So today we're going to talk about what makes this event so unique and why NADRA's mission really matters, and how gatherings like this create opportunities for builders, suppliers, and manufacturers to connect in ways that move their business forward. So whether you are a NADRA member or not, you're going to walk away knowing exactly why this is a night you don't want to miss. All right, there we go. The word's out. Really pumped about it. We got Pops here, and I'm really excited to have him here because he is the visionary behind everything. And I think he's going to be able to shed a lot of light to how these regional events have worked in the past and how he really foresees them moving forward. So I'm really honored to be a part of this with you. Thank you so much. And thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So why don't you just tell me why these regional events matter to NADRA's mission?
So when we get together nationally at things like DeckExpo, at conferences, or whether we're at our big Clearwater event in Florida for the big Deck Awards, right? It is the culmination of everything we do online, on the web, in the webinars, over the phone, all these other ways of communicating, Zoom, and I love them and they're great. But face-to-face, there's just nothing like it. And when you do face-to-face in a regional or local manner, you can get together more often because these are your peers within an hour of your facilities and in your businesses, right? And the pain points and concerns that you have on a state by state or county by county, or even a jurisdiction that you're dealing with code or with problems, you all have the same pain points. So when you're able to get together on a regular basis, and to me, if you get together 4 times a year, that's fantastic, right? I can tell you that in the areas we've been doing this for many years, like in Atlanta and New Jersey, when you cruise through the membership and you click on these different areas, because you can look things up geographically, by name, by company. But when you look it up and you click on Jersey, or you click on Atlanta, and all of a sudden you see a cluster. That's because once you start to get moving in an area, it's natural to bring more people on. Next thing you know, the builder goes to his dealer, and his dealer has other contractors. So the dealer joins up and tells other contractors about it, or distributors or service providers like you guys. The word gets out that, hey, you're really good at helping folks with their media and marketing and generating leads. Next thing you know, he sends that to another deck builder. And I will just tell you, the fun that comes out of it is this. Most people think, well, why the hell would I want to help another deck builder, man? That's my competition. I go out and Mrs. Jones, he undercut me by $5,000. It's crazy. I hate that guy. No, that's not what happens. What happens is y'all work together and you elevate the entire market to expect a better product. So People help one another. And next thing you know, you're sharing leads. You're helping guys on different jobs. One guy might be very familiar with a particular railing product. So he helps them with that installation and how it goes on. Because I got to tell you, when you go to bed at night and you have the same problems that the next guy has, where do you get to have that camaraderie where you can share in that kind of environment? And that's what happens when you get together regionally. That's why we're excited about you guys helping us to pull this off in your area, because this is going to have the same effect that it had in Minnesota, in Atlanta, in Jersey. We're going to see this begin to happen. So that's the next big step of the evolution, is for us to get together more regionally.
Yeah. And I can say, so Deck Builder, I'm the founder of Deck Builder Marketers. We are a full service growth partner for deck builders across the country. And we have deck builders all over the place. I don't get to see them in person that much unless it's at DeckExpo or, IBS or one of these events or the Deck Awards. We came up with the idea. It was motivated from panel discussion that you had at Deck Awards. And I was privileged enough to monitor one of the panels. And it kind of organically happened where, Jeff and I were here locally and everyone was like, well, you guys should just start a regional event here. And I said, don't threaten me with a good time. So that's where it was born. And I'm really looking forward to syncing up with people more regularly, especially here. And I have a secret. Most of our clients are in Midwest, East Coast. We got some dock builders in Florida, and, we've got some sprinkled in Colorado and Texas and Northern California and Seattle. We have them everywhere, but guess where we don't have any deck builder clients?
In your own backyard.
In my own backyard.
Funny how that happens. It's funny. Now, I'll tell you, once you do start doing things regionally here in PA, New Jersey, Delaware, we are getting more and more. So once you pull off a couple of these, and it doesn't take much, it really doesn't, because the communications take off once they've gotten to know each other and they've networked and they've exchanged information, right? And then they learn how to use the website and they get involved. So, and it doesn't take long. I mean, 2 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised you run a meeting and you're like, whoa, we need a bigger location. This isn't big enough anymore. So I love where you're doing it, by the way, right on the beach. It's so beautiful. I mean, you guys did your homework. You came out with a great location and you worked with Margie, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. And we really were kind of going back and forth on the date. It's September 4th on a Thursday, by the way, because it's around Labor Day, and I love where I live maybe too much. I'm like, but hold on, maybe if people are coming from, the desert region, like Riverside or something like that, they'll want to, stay for the weekend or something. And so there definitely is that opportunity. If anybody wants any information on the area, if you're not used to coming around here, please ping me on social media and I'll be happy to tell you like a hotel to go to and things to do in the area and stuff like that, because I love it. I'm Ohio bred and, born and put my 30 years in, and I've been here ever since, and I absolutely love it. So I'm really glad to host.
You're not excited to go back to Ohio? Really?
No. It's been so many years now. My husband, he wants to go back and visit. And I'm like, go back. I mean, I love you guys. I love Ohio, but it's time for y'all to come out here, Which, by the way, I was telling Margie, I'm going to be in PA the last week in August. So I'll have to sync up with you guys. I'd love to.
If you're anywhere close, I mean, we're literally, headquarters is an hour from the Philadelphia International Airport. We're right there. Allentown's even a closer one. You can fly in, you're 15 minutes from us. So we have people, believe it or not, coming to visit HQ more and more. Now that we have a deck that you won't fall through when you step on it, which we got 20 years of grief. Contractors, like, you go to their house, he's a kitchen guy, but his kitchen is like 60 years old. We were that for our deck. And after a million manufacturers kept promising, you guys, you got to fix this. This is terrible. We finally got that done. So now when you come to HQ, you'll have a safe deck to walk on.
Yeah, I posted about that in the Deck Builder Marketing Mastermind Facebook group. I was like, who here's a poser? Like, how many of you guys build decks, but you don't actually have one? And it was like, everyone was chiming in. Yeah, I don't have one. Why would I want a deck? And like all these funny comments. But anyway, you were gifted that deck from the community, weren't you?
Well, we spent 5 years saying no to everyone. And then at Mr. James Gunning, God bless him, he was with Owens Corning at the time in WareDeck. And while we were at the main event in Clearwater, after we had pulled it off, this is, when you pull off these events, that's a lot of work. And it was the last day. We had finished the event that night. It was the Beach Olympics that day on the beach. We're relaxed now. main part of the success is over. We're able to chill. And they sat us down and said, hey, by the way, and then they show us these pictures of NADRA HQ where there's units of this lumber sitting in our driveway, because he knew I would have refused it. We like Deck for a Soldier. A lot of other people need stuff. We did not need this. And then it sat for a year because we couldn't convince ourselves to do it. Like we were going to give it. And finally, they put it together. And Mike Beaudry from Back to Nature came up and really helped us. And him and his crew did a heck of a job. Anyway, so yeah, that's how we have a deck now. And yes, we're very excited about it. And it's going to get better and bigger. And, it's hard keeping up. We look at what the guys are doing and it's like, my gosh, there's this and there's that. And there's an outdoor kitchen and there's a hot tub and there's a heated this and a cooling that. And we're like, decks aren't decks anymore, man. They are total outdoor living, enjoyable spaces. And we'll just keep improving a little at a time. And pretty soon people could come to HQ and they'll be proud of, what we have. But it's good.
Yeah. Well, cool. So the door's open is what I'm hearing. And
always. We love visitors. We love it.
Oh, and for anyone listening, so we're still not in our house. So our house flooded. And it's been under construction and we've been living in other people's houses and Airbnbs. And I finally just decided, okay, let's take the RV and just like get a camp spot for a few weeks. So anyway, we're remodeling because it's like, might as well take the opportunity. So we're going to have house 3.0. But after that, we're going to be building our own outdoor living space. So I'll get to be a customer, which I think is going to be really beneficial for the work that we do for our deck builders. So if anybody's interested in the job, let me know. Well, we have a few comments here I want to get to, but I do want to open it up. As everybody knows, if you don't know, we do these podcasts live. They stream on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and you could join in on the conversation. You could ask questions. And what I would really like to know is if somebody could just chime in, leave a comment, and I'll read it live. I would like to know what you feel is really beneficial about being a NADRA member in general. And then if you've been to an event, if you can share something about your experience, because we could sit here and talk all we want. We're obviously really passionate about what we do, but it's really to serve the community. And so it'd be really nice to hear what other folks have to say. I know that after COVID, I think we all learned that we need each other and we, the good stuff that you get by being in person, it's not the same virtually. I find that whenever I go to an event, if it's a trade show or whatnot, the real meat and potatoes is when you're just networking and talking with people. And I gain so much. And I don't have high expectations when I do things like this. It's like, if I can leave with one juicy nugget, it's extremely valuable, because when you have your head down and you're just working and grinding and just focusing on your world, you can miss out on a lot of opportunity and education by like connecting with other people to see what's going on in their world, and then leveraging that for your own world. So hopefully somebody pops in here. I know Bobby says, where does Pop see the industry moving and what is he hearing about the economy and how it's affecting new projects?
So very positive. I mean, a lot of folks out there are so concerned with what goes on in the economy. And it's funny, I sit on a lot of boards and I talk to a lot of folks in New York and the stock exchange people that are looking to invest in the industry. They're always kind of like calling the association, looking for what's going on. And I sit on these calls, and for this last call last week, I heard probably 20 very, very good people, very involved in the industry. They were all talking about how slow it was and we can't figure it out. And I just kind of laughed and said, we often forget about how much the weather affects our business. And when you have like 8 weekends of rain in a row, bad rain, like golf courses were suffering, shore points were suffering, vacation homes were suffering, and people wonder why. Well, guess what, man? It's raining. So when all of a sudden July hit and people said, man, July 4th, all of a sudden the phones lit up. Well, we had 5 days of 70 degrees and sunshine. And that was almost across the country. It was beautiful weather, right? So I could just say that people tend to look for something that's sometimes not there. This is consistent. I used to be in the ski industry, and boy, I was really smart when it snowed. I was a genius. And then when it didn't snow, I was an idiot. What happened? How could you bought all this stuff? We didn't sell anything. Well, it didn't snow for like 8 weekends, and we only got 16. So I just would say this to you guys wondering what's going on. The economy's fine. The high-end people, oh my gosh, they're spending so much more than they ever spent before. So if you're gearing towards more of that outdoor living design, not just the deck, but the patio and the outdoor kitchen and the rest of it, people are booked out 6 months, 8 months now, just with multiple crews to try to keep up with that higher end. The middle of the end, they seem fine. When I say middle, please, I used to think, 10,000, 15,000 was an amazing deck, right? Well, not anymore, man. That's like 30 to 50 to 60. That seems to be that middle road now. So many of us aren't building as many decks as we used to, but we're building much more square footage on the ones we're building, and we're there longer. We're not there for a week and we got out and do the next one, right? And then to answer the question, the very beginning, you have to look at how far composites gone down. So the big difference, it used to be, well, I'm going to do, a wood deck because that's what I can afford. Well, as prices have come down in the composite and PVC materials, not PVC, but composite, you're doing more now. People are saying, you know what, I'll spend a little bit more and then I don't have to worry about staining and this and that. But never underestimate the wood market. People think, it's got to be this. Well, guess what? In the middle of our country, and you're not on the shore points, there is still a ton of wood decks being built. And those wood decks will just get a little bit better. They're putting aluminum rail in them, or they're putting a different sill on them. So they got a little bit better look and there's not as much maintenance, but there's still a ton of wood decks. So I would answer the question by this. I think the third and fourth quarter, in my book anyway, is going to be strong. People are saying they're not sure. I feel personally in our segment of outdoor living, we are going to end strong. And I feel that from a manufacturing sell-through. I feel it from distribution and dealers. And I certainly feel it from our professionals, whether it's architects, engineers, specifiers, or our ballywag contractors. We're going to have a good third and fourth quarter. So, and I would just encourage guys not to sit back. Stop thinking you can't market. You know this very well, that you need to stay in front of customers. So too many guys get, a couple jobs and then they're out on the job and they're not really concentrating on their lead generation and marketing. You cannot stop that. You got to keep that pedal down because we make all our money in that fourth quarter. You can work all year long, but you haven't got your profit yet, right? That happens in your last jobs. That's when you make your profit for the whole year, right? I mean, I hate to say it, but we need those. We need to stay busy. I feel very strong about the economy. I think we're in a great market. And as far as where the industry is moving, we're soaring high, man. As we grow and you bring in more patio and more paver and more hardscape, we're just growing because we get to be first.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the topography in our country calls for a deck to get down to our yards or a porch to get down to our front. So we're many cases, the first people they see. And if you just become a one-shop stop and talk about 3 phases of a project, and do you want to do a pool down the road? Or, are you going to have dogs? Do you want a fence? We end up becoming that first step to get the entire outdoor living. And I want more and more deck builders to start thinking that way and reaching out to those people that do that in their market, even if they don't make any money on the deal, but they're able to facilitate that, become a GM on the job. That's important. Eventually you'll grow into those other categories and your business will grow into all of outdoor living.
All right. Microphone's dropping here. You're giving me a lot of great things that I want to expand on. The first is like, when you said that, I'm like, okay, you guys, you're not deck builders. You're like dream consultants or like outdoor living inspiration or strategists. You know what I mean? And I think it's really important to let people don't know what they don't know. And it's so important to really paint that dream. I had an open coaching call. We call it like a mastermind roundtable. And it was really great because Tommy Holstein was on.
Great.
And he's such a great guy. We love all our clients, but we really adore them so much. But he was just talking about how he was really he was just being helpful. It's not like he was trying to sell anybody, but he was really talking about yes, you want this deck for your kids' graduation now, but what about when they come back from college, and they bring a significant other over and then they have kids and you guys are all enjoying being together on the deck. And so I thought that was just really beautiful how he said that, and a really good example of, how you are leveraging what you do to make a bigger impact in someone's life too. And so, try and think more creatively when you're selling the job about what it is now and what the potential could be later, right?
Let me share this with you real quick, April, because people wonder, how did NADRA start? What was the deal? Where are you going, right? And I guess I speak for the industry because the industry didn't have a voice. There was all these things going on with wood at the time, and it was changing over, and people were pointing fingers, it's the fastener guy or it's the wood guy, chemical guy. And no one was really saying, listen, we all got to work on this together. Let's just talk about it. So NADRA became that voice, a voice of 20 people, right? It was just the beginning, right? But for me personally, I come from the skiing industry. So for 65 years in a family business, we sold fun. You didn't need to go skiing or snowboarding. You wanted to. So you came in and you bought something that was fun for you and the family, right? And when I look at skiing, I don't know of another sport that pulls the whole family together like skiing does. You wake up in the morning, you cruise to the mountain, you might go off and ski your thing, but you're going to get together at night. So that family experience, when I decided what else am I going to do, and I helped Mike Ebner Back to Nature with his deck they needed help with, I fell in love with the fact that this is perfect for bringing family and friends together and doing so with their own home. They don't have to go to Vail or Switzerland or St. Moritz or whatever to go skiing. They they could do this every day in their house. And I fell in
Mhm.
love with that idea. And so when you think about what we do, we are truly bringing family and friends together. And if you meet with every single customer with that in mind and you shut up and listen, it's amazing how much they'll tell you. And that's it, man. Just listen to what they like, and then all of a sudden they'll put their devices down and the kids will get off the computer and they'll be having s'mores around the fire and dad'll be cooking and open up the kegulator or whatever, or the juice bar. Now we have to get away from liquor. It's 54% down. But my point is, right, bring the family and friends together. And when you meet with people and you ask those kind of questions and then you just shut up and listen, they will design way bigger project than you would have ever tried to sell them.
Mm.
It may
Yeah.
take years to complete that vision for their vision, right? And then you'll add your understanding and know-how and might want to go down this road. But since you just hit that open, I really wanted to take the opportunity to send that out there, because any association, I don't care who you are, your goal is to bring people together. And yeah, you'll create a bunch of program and have education and do events and all that crap. But you know what? Your biggest goal is to bring people together so they can network, because they're going to learn more from their peers than any association could ever teach them. You guys teach us. We just listen and then we try to help others understand it and get bigger and put it out there. But networking is what it's all about. And I'm really glad you mentioned that, because you have to have a passion for what you're doing. It's not just building a deck. You're making a big difference in someone's life.
Yeah, you really got to grasp onto that, because I think they're artists, and they get to build something, be creative and build something that is, creates an amazing experience for someone else. But really, it's about what you said. It's so beautiful. So if anybody's listening, please leave a comment. I want to make sure that like these juicy nuggets that or knowledge bombs that Pops is putting down is resonating with you. Real quick, I want to get to some of the comments, but Craftsman Deck Builder said, April, we are very close to hiring deck builder marketers to skyrocket our company. So thank you, Craftsman Deck Builders. So he or she, they said, I would love to design and build your dream outdoor living space. So
Ooh, there you go. You already got a hot lead. Woohoo!
let's see. Bobby said, May is Deck Safety Month. You were saying something, and I can't remember what that was about. But
another program we put together, and it's really close to my heart. I mean, I love that we're building and creating these things, but I got to tell you, there's well over 25 million decks that are so damn old, they need to be repaired or replaced. People talk about the market like, man, we do. I mean, here's numbers for what they're worth, right? Do about 2.5 million decks a year across North America. That seems to be the number. And not a lot of research on that, right? But if there's 25 million out of the 50 that are well over 20 years old, how many of those need to be replaced? So if we really concentrate on getting the word out about the need to inspect your deck, check your deck, just don't go out there after a winter of heavy snow and think it's okay. Check it, make sure your family and friends are safe, right? So I really appreciate Bobby mentioning deck safety, because to me, one of my biggest goals are, can I help prevent some of these needless injuries and deaths and paraplegic people that happen? 30,000 people a year are hurt on a deck, and that's a real number. That's not like, oh, I got burned from the charcoal, or I tripped and I fell from drinking. No, these are from products that either were too old and failed, or it wasn't designed correctly, or quite frankly, it was just outdoors and no one took care of it, which is really most of the time, right? And of those, 6,000 are usually a head injury or trauma because they go over the rail. Rail gives way, or the stair.
yeah,
And
right.
so I really love that he brought that up, because that's just really important to be part of what you do. And if you're looking to get leads, go offer some inspections in your marketplace. If you're slow and get your ass out there and go do some deck inspections, right?
Yeah.
Apps are there, the forms are there. Anyone can go do it. And I'll tell you what, when you do that in your community, and we have proof of concept where guys have gone through the programs, taken the evaluation and certification programs for inspection, and gone out and done it. And some of these guys are at 20, 30 crews now. They are cranking because it gets you into the community, billboards, people start seeing you do this and they're like, well, I want that done. You know what? Let's get it fixed up. Let's do it. You know what? Let's rip the whole thing down, put a new one up. This is how you can grow your business through deck safety.
Well, what's cool is Bobby, he's actually our copywriter here. And so he's chiming in. He likes to learn from, the conversations. But Bobby creates deck safety pages on all of our clients' websites.
I love it. Let it go, Bobby. Love you, man.
Yeah.
If I
So
ever
I
do
always
anything for you, you just call me. I'm happy to help.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always say Bob, he's such a good guy too. He's from Ohio. Of course, he's special to my heart, but I always say that he could probably build a deck at this point because he writes all about it all the time, Let's see. We've got Daniel said, I do agree with Mike, more than selling a product or a service. We should focus on selling experiences and long lasting memories for our clients. That's good. Love it. So
And put that in videos. Have parties after you build. Invite the current neighbors and
yes.
family. What a great wrap up after you do your job. First of all, your customers love it. They get close to your guys, and your guys never get any attaboys. They go off to the next job, right? Imagine
Yeah.
if you invited them over. I want you to meet this guy, was awesome. And next thing you know, you've sold, 10 more jobs because of
Yes.
it. That
Yeah.
happens
And
all the
I
time.
think people get kind of hung up in the logistics, but it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just schedule a date with the homeowner, get some barbecue catering, pay for it, show up. You don't have to be there long, kiss some babies' heads and shake some hands and take some photos. And then you've got some marketing material, get a video testimonial while you're there, get some pictures of you and your crew with the homeowner on the deck. That's all like really invaluable. So I think that a lot of deck builders kind of miss out on that after opportunity, because that's also creating a really great experience where you're going to get more referrals and for, years to come for things like that. So love that you brought that up.
I'm just going to throw a pain point out there, because you as a marketing company, if you do a really good job, you're going to generate leads to the point where they turn down business, right? You're going to do your job and then they can't handle it because they haven't grown. I'm going to tell you something I've really seen, especially over the last 5 or 6 years. You can account COVID for this success, right? But you have to create a culture within your company if deck builders want to come work for you, okay? Oh, I can't get help. I can't get any people to work for me. Well, why would they? You're a one-man crew. You do everything yourself. You don't know where the next job's coming from. This happens so often across the board, and not just with NADRA members that have been in business many years. They get caught up in this cycle of, okay, I sold some jobs. Now I got to get materials. I got to keep the guys busy. I move on to the next one. I could give you many examples and names, but I won't. What I will tell you is the ones that are really growing now are creating a culture of fun and excitement, just like you're trying to do for your customer. You need to do for your own company, and you will attract other people that want to come in and work with you. So when people tell me, oh, I can't get good help, it's like, well, let me ask you a question. Why would they want to come work with you? When you answer that problem and you begin to correct those and make that kind of environment, you will attract good people, and you will get a second crew and a third crew so you can grow your business. Because I would like every deck builder owner to put their hammer down. And you guys that love it, you can't get enough of it, I get it. But trust me, as you get older and your knees and elbows wish you would have done more with other people, you're going to say, I should have listened to that old guy Beaudry because he's sore as shit. Look at what he did to himself. You should try to start working on your business. I just want to take the opportunity to say it, because you have to make your environment fun, and that will pass on to the customers, and you'll grow crazy because of it, and you'll attract good people.
Pops, we are completely on the same page. So I always tell everybody, like, the marketing that we do is not just for lead generation. It builds up your brand so you can get better projects and be more targeted, build up your team because you have more stability so that you can get out of working in the business and work on the business. And I always say, like, when it comes to social media and stuff like that, it's not just about promoting, your work all the time. It's about building trust by explaining your culture and the behind the scenes things, and kind of building that FOMO with, potential new hires. It's really important. I always say, always be recruiting. And so we take our recruitment just as seriously as our own marketing. We have video testimonials of our team. We have a whole page that explains, all of our core values. We even test people on our core values. So I'm just saying, like, take it seriously. And I'm really glad you brought that up. I was working with Lainey yesterday. So she's been like a little passion project for me. I've been helping her kind of build her own brand. We named her Duchess of Decking. And she's got a website. It's duchessofdecking.com. And we were working on her brand marketing and sales strategy yesterday. And we were just kind of going off and talking about how a lot of these guys don't hire people because, nobody could do it as good as them. And I'm like, I get it. Like, all of us business owners or entrepreneurs, we're unicorns. We can do everything because we had to in order to get to where we are, for the most part. Some people kind of go into it and they are business investors and not, like grinding. But, I think you have to understand that you're never going to find somebody that's going to be as good as you right away. Maybe they'll be 80% as good as you.
Love 80-20. I love 80-20. If you're
But
doing
it's
100%, but you could do 80, it's okay to let the 20 slide. It'll make up for itself. Trust me, because you'll be able to do more other things. When I say and I give you this advice, please understand, when I look at folks like you, I look at Chris Breen, I look at Bruce and Judy, you guys are all doing it. Margie and I wish I could tell you, oh, we created this great culture. We have so many people coming in. No, I can tell you what I think you need to do. That doesn't mean I've done it myself. So please, when I tell you that, guys, don't think like, oh man, let's do everything they're doing, because, oh, hell no. I just know from all the people we've worked with that this is what's working. So we here at NADRA HQ, we're trying to do that same thing. How do we get young people in? How do we get them to take on this incredible growth that's happening now, right? So don't think it's coming from words like, oh, I'll just do what he does. No. I'm just telling you what I think you should do, not what I've done.
Yeah, I know, at least for me, there's got to be something deeper in things for me in order for me to go all in. Like there has to be some sort of a passion. So you could sit here, we could say all of these things and recommend all of that. But if you don't know what that is, at least in my opinion, at your core, you're going to probably stay stagnant, right? But yeah, I do really want to encourage people to create a business that isn't dependent on your availability so that you have more options in your world. You could hand that business down to somebody, you could sell it, you could save your knees, like Mike said, all of those things, really important. And so what I wanted to ask you, what Lainey and I were talking about, was the lack of, the younger generation entering the trades. And
I got to tell you, we are doing very, very well with people coming on board. I don't know if the word's just gotten out or if it happened because of COVID or it happened because of so many wonderful members we have. But I got to tell you, we're seeing young people come in, the most we've seen in many years. And I got to tell you, I think it's for a number of reasons. But I think one of the biggest reasons is there's a lot of money in the trade. These people in white collar that are getting knocked out from AI, that know how to run a business and know how to do marketing, know how to grow a company, but have no idea how to build a deck, are getting some of the best deck builders saying, listen, let's work together, man, because I can't build a deck. I know how to grow this company. And these younger people that are coming in, they're not coming in at $1 million, $2 million. They're coming in at 5, 6, 8. They are rocket right off the bat. So I do think we're going to continue to attract younger people. I do think more people are going to go back to the trades. I mean, I don't care if you're an electrician, a plumber. There is such a need for this in the future. And there's not so much a need for what we used to think. We needed doctors, we needed lawyers, we needed accountants. Guess what? AI is doing a lot of that for us now. And in a couple of years, who knows where it's going to be. But they're not building decks and they're not doing plumbing and they're not doing electrical. So I really do feel we're going to see the trades come back strong with youth over the next 10 years. And that's going to be, for me, the most exciting thing. Because, kids today, I love it. When I say kids today, I can look at a 40-year-old and it's a kid, right? So it's very exciting to see what's happening right now. I do believe we're all going to have lots of opportunities to get some of these young kids in and help them.
I love, love, love that. And I really hope Lainey's listening to this because you just answered our question. By the way, I have some exciting news. So I was asked last week to be a coach for other marketing agencies in the group that I'm in. So it's a big milestone where I get to give back and I'm really excited about it. So the reason I say that is because I have been feeling like I'm at a point in my life, in my career, where it's time to give back. And I think that we all owe that. We owe that to the generations coming up and, to our families and all of that, to give back and teach these kids how to do this stuff.
You just summed up NADRA in one sentence. The people that get it and get involved in whatever association, I don't care if it's your church, I don't care what it is, when you give back to your community, it will come back to you tenfold. And I know this from lots of experience over the years and watching how the deck builders or the architects or engineers or whatever are growing when they get into that network because they're giving back. Whether it's a deck for a soldier, whether it's advice through coaching. Coaching is like home ec. There was no coaching when I was growing up. It was, yo, you idiot, you're doing it wrong. It wasn't like they sat down and told you, here's your correct plan, right? You learned by mistakes. Now, oh my gosh, you can learn so much so quickly because people are being willing to share. So somebody asked the question, how do you get involved in NADRA? Guys, I'll tell you what I tell everybody. It's on the website. Because when we're dealing now with, oh my gosh, all across Canada, the United States, Saudi Arabia is doing a big show. They want us to come out, right? We're like, oh my God, wait, really? No, but I'll help you and I'll give you all the tools to say what we did so you can do it out there. What I will tell you is when you give back, it will come back to you. So NADRA really is about a community of people that want to do more than just build decks, right? And trust me, you'll learn a lot about building decks, but you will learn a lot about life and people. And that's what our logo is. Do things for the right reason, have fun doing it.
So the website is really nice. I mean, you guys are constantly making updates. There's a whole section. I'm trying to find it. It is, where is it? NADRA benefits. You guys have a page right in the menu. So there's the NADRA benefits so that you could learn more about why you need to join this organization. And then there's a join now button right there as well. They really take care of you once you join. I mean, I think Margie maybe even reaches out. Somebody reaches out to make sure that,
we have an onboarding thing. It's not like you get a dumb machine. We don't deal with that. Yes, we have AI on the website now and it's answering like 10,000 questions, which is awesome. It's even got a picture of Pops, which is pretty funny. I'm going to get an animated dude with with a little thinner, more abs, But yeah, we are very much in touch with our members. We believe in that, and we're going to continue that. And everybody gets onboarded. It's very important. So they get out of it.
Okay, so I do want to talk about the event before we close out here. And Pops, I could literally talk to you for another hour. And so when you tell me that you're done with podcasts, I'm very bummed about that.
There's so many people smarter than me. I know so many wonderful people in this industry that I'd be more than happy to put them out there for you. I mean, my story's the same. It doesn't change. Just wake up, work your ass off, do a good job. It's like, that's it. That's what we're doing here. But I mean, there's just so many wonderful members that if you ever had specific topics, I could probably tell you a dozen guys that are the best at this. And many of these guys too, and gals, right? By the way, power to women, okay? I want to say something here. There is hardly a deck builder that doesn't have somebody in the office or a wife or a girlfriend that's not involved in this business that's successful. And the ones that don't have anyone to support them, it's very, very, very difficult. It's like they have to work twice as hard because they don't have that relationship to help them in this business. I just can't thank the women enough in this industry, because this industry would not be where it's at today without the women in the industry.
Yeah, the backbone, the quiet ones that do so much and get no recognition. So
everybody thinks I run NADRA. I don't do squat. Margie runs NADRA. I just do what she tells me to do.
Yeah. So also on by the way, Craftsman Deck Builder said, love the inspection concept. So like you're sharing all kinds of things that people are getting value out of. I love it.
Oh, it's so huge. There's an app, there's a form. We're working on a brand new app. We have over 500 inspectors across the country have gone through the NADRA deck evaluation certification. Now they can inspect the deck. We just evaluate the deck. And quite frankly, I like the evaluation because we don't have the liability that many of these inspectors have to go through. And they can't do things that we can do. We can tell the customer, listen, we're going to dig in with a thing and we're going to take this connection off. We're going to make sure that's not rusted, right? They have to say, I can't really inspect that, because they can't go into the liability that a normal contractor can go through. So a deck evaluation, in my opinion, is extremely important for every single person to get involved in. Hire a couple of college kids, put them through the program, send them out there. I like this idea of educate, inspect, correct. If I can leave that before we move on to the next journey in our life, I would feel very, very successful about what we've done with the decking industry. And that is educate, inspect, correct. And we'll solve a lot of problems, save a lot of lives.
That's good. That's good. So with the event, okay, so again, if you're just listening in, we are launching the very first NADRA SoCal regional event in Carlsbad, California on September 4th at Fresco, 642 464. Oh my gosh, I should know what it is. I got to go to the website and see.
It's all on our website too. You go to the NADRA, you go to events, upcoming events, it'll all be on there. There's a registration form. We've already got people registered. I don't know if we've told you, but people are coming on board. Got a couple sponsors for tables. It's going to take off because honestly, and I don't mean to sound this overconfident, but people want to get together. They want to get together. So if NADRA can create that excuse and we have members like you that are willing to help, I mean, that's why we created the whole event book, which is a living document. You guys are helping us make it better every time, right? Somebody else like you says, hey, I want to do this in Milwaukee, or I want to do this in whatever. That's how this thing's going to take off, and we're going to create more and more events across the country.
Love it. So it's 264 Fresco. It's a beautiful Italian restaurant. We're going to have it all an outside tent. The weather is going to be perfect. All of the tourists will be gone. So it'll be really nice, really good food, good people, good environment. So September 4th from 6 to 9:30, we're going to eat some food, break some bread together, have some drinks, network, get to see what, everybody's up to, and just real informal, right? Like, do you want to talk about how the other events have been and, what people can expect?
Yeah, we normally have just a very relaxed atmosphere. We usually will have a speaker that will come in and talk about, hey, this is what NADRA's doing. But when you run these ones that are in the beginning, it's really a matter of, hey, where do you guys want to see this go? What are your major pain points right now? Are you having problems in different townships with different inspectors? What's the scoop, right? Hey, did you guys know Bill 204 went into effect? As of January of 2026, you need to inspect. So we'll give you some code, what's happening in the government. There's a lot of changes, the tariffs. We just help kind of give you that 40,000 point view, and it usually creates a lot of conversation. And then doing it regionally and asking, what do you guys want to do? Where would you like to have another event? What would you like to do next time? And just please always make sure there's an element of fun, right? Like, That's very important. Being on the beach, oh my gosh, people are going to love it. They'll probably stay over, might make
Yeah, I
a
hope
2-day
so.
deal out of it. So I
Yeah.
love have a good location.
So go to the website. You could register directly from the homepage, and there is a nominal fee of $40. But guys, this is a nonprofit. We're not trying to make money off of this at all. It's going to pay for the food.
Sponsors really make the difference to make it affordable. Without them, it's not. I mean, if we try to do a ticketed event, we did the numbers out there. It was $400 a person, right? For like 30 people. And I was like, okay, hey, whoa, not going to fly, man. It's not going to fly. Deck builder cannot drop that kind of coin, right? But yeah, and I'll tell you something else. We always do a fee because if you don't, people don't show up. If there's no skin in the game, it's like, I had a rough day. I'm just going to have a beer and sit back.
Yeah.
When there's a little bit of skin, it's amazing. I was like, you know what? I got to go to that.
It takes a lot of logistics to get these going. And so, we need some commitment,
You're finding that out as you and your team see what goes on. It's a lot of work.
So I'll be there. Somebody maybe from headquarters will be there, but more so it'll be this nice community here in Southern California. Really looking forward to meeting all of you guys. Bring a friend. If they're not a NADRA member, everybody's welcome. And we really look forward to our first successful event. And we're going to try and do them every 3 months. So more to come. If you don't register now, make sure that you go to nadra.org and sign up for their emails. They do their bi-weekly newsletters, right? You do them every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Full of really, really good stuff. Anybody can join the newsletter. And of course, they'll be posting, more updates as we get closer to the event. But everything's planned. Hope to see you on September 4th in Carlsbad, California. Want to give a shout out to Jeff Mudd, who has also been helping to organize all of this. He is the founder of the Trades podcast. So make sure that you listen to that podcast. And then again, nadra.org. I'm from Deck Builder Marketers and full service marketing agency here to support you with your growth and make sure that you've got some consistency in your business. It's a really interesting time we're in right now with this whole AI shift and just the expectations and the way that people buy. We create systems that really help your business grow. So thanks so much for joining us, Mike. Any last words of wisdom or thoughts?
Just thanks for everything you do, man. Love your passion. Love your support. We appreciate you. And anybody have any questions, nadra.org. We're really easy to get a hold of, and we're just here to help.
Yep, that's for sure. In it for the right reasons. So this is an event you're not going to want to miss, you guys. There's plenty of opportunities to connect, learn, and grow. For our listeners, again, make sure that you check out the event details and sign up through NADRA's website. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in to We Love Deck Builders. Until next time, keep building, keep thriving, and as always, keep moving forward. And if you like this episode, make sure that you like, subscribe, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Thanks again.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Bye-bye now.
Hey, deck building community. Enjoyed the show? Hit subscribe and give us your thoughts. We love hearing from you. Ready to level up your business? Visit deckbuildermarketers.com. Check out our services and let's build your success together. Don't forget to download our free guides. They're a game changer. Thanks for tuning in to We Love Deck Builders and see you on the next episode.